Freddie Show. We are coming to you live from Murphy, North Carolina. And because I had a chauffeur today, I'm going to give you the program today, Mr. Brackett. We've renamed this the Freddie Show, and I'm just going to let you take it away.
What are you looking at?
It's my your curly hair, Lord, I love it. It's so funny. We crossed the North Carolina line, and it starts snowing on us, and his hair starts curling up, and I just laughed all the way up here. I said, okay, that is wild. Welcome to Murphy, North Carolina. You're lucky enough to be in Cherokee County, Georgia. I'm in Cherokee, North Carolina, and we have to come together every once in a while, because for years we were doing this together daily. And I really miss it, and it's tough to know, but you got called back to a job with insurance and benefits.
Yeah.
You can't turn that down, can you?
No.
Darn
You
it.
do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, but I do miss you, and I'm so glad you're here today. Now, you're here because we have a very dear friend who came up from Cherokee County.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about Don Coker. How do you describe Don Coker?
She always puts me on the spot. Because I can think of a million things to say about Don, because he's a good guy, but when you put me on the spot, I draw a blank. But he's the one that I always mention him on when I do the show
Would you call him a #1 fan?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. Yeah. He has been very loyal to us. He has been very devoted to us. He always participates in things we do, whether it be an event where we were doing live shows or whether it be call-ins. Don's always right on top of the game. Now, one of the things he loved is when my other co-host, Bill Sinyard, would get me with 60s music, because we used to play trivia a lot. And I know Don would be sitting at home in front of the TV just grinning when I would miss the answer to a question.
Yeah, Don's a fun guy. He likes to have fun.
And he likes to get me. So today, y'all, I'm warning you, I'm going to be sitting between two men who often can put me to the ground. So it'll be an interesting day. Today we're also going to do something, it's a sad moment, but it's also a moment to bring our nation together. At 9:30 we're going to stop, and we're going to just pause for 60 seconds in honor and in memory of the victims in the Connecticut massacre. It's been 1 week today. It happened while we were on the air last week, and we didn't know it until we came off the air. And a week later, it still doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real. Now let's talk about real weather. Because as we crossed into North Carolina, little snow, and then the snow gets a little bit bigger flakes. The massive pileups out in the Midwest, the massive bad weather in Chicago is headed right for New York City. So Lonnie, if you're up there on the roof watching, get in your truck, load your crew, and get to the south, because it is going to be a bad weather weekend.
Yeah.
Not here, but the Midwest. They have shown like 25 car pileups, some crazy wrecks out there.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, your son-in-law, Siggy, just made it to Anchorage, Alaska, just in the nick of time.
Man, he slid in there by, really, truly, just barely made it. And he said it was really tough. He landed in Denver last night.
Have you talked to him since he landed
Not
at
since he landed at 3 a.m. this morning. No, now I do eBay at 3 a.m., but I don't talk to my son-in-law at 3 a.m. But there was a warning on eBay last night that said your packages could possibly be delayed because of the Midwestern snowstorm. And this is a massive snowstorm, and today is a day of celebration. A year ago today, my life changed drastically. A year ago today, I did a live show that I had done for years and years and years, and I walked off the set. I was taken into a little tiny office. The door was closed, and I got nailed. And they said, our budget cuts mean we have to end your program. Well, it ended, but it began again right here. So 1 year ago today. And do you remember the first trip we drove up here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the avalanche, playing Smoky Mountain Memories.
Yeah.
And you said, Murphy's a long way. And I said, not too bad. And I've been doing it now a long time. It doesn't get any closer, but the drive is a pleasant drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Except on rainy days. Now, yesterday, y'all...
Yesterday
I pounded a little bit because I don't do the rain very well. But there's so many beautiful things to see. And we're getting to know the area a little bit. And that's one of the things Don has heard me talk about the area. And before, anytime I mentioned a restaurant, if I mentioned an event, Don would make notes. And he would quite often take Judy to those places. Well, guess who's with Don today? Who's out there?
his wife, Judy.
That's right. Judy gets to come to Murphy, North Carolina. So they're going to have lunch in Murphy, and they're going to go visit some of the shops, and they're actually going to go by and see our mayor because they've heard us talk about it, and they love when he's on the show. So we are introducing Murphy to our communities, which starts, where are you from?
Ball Ground, Georgia. Now, has Don and Judy ever been up here to the main part of town?
I don't know. We'll have to
I
ask him.
hadn't never until you started doing this.
I'd say half the world hadn't, because they all just run down that road headed to Cherokee. But if you turn left at McDonald's, it's amazing what this little town has.
And Bryson City, I'd never been in the main part of it until we went, whenever it was, maybe a year ago.
Oh, yeah. And Bryson City's a beautiful little town.
Yeah.
Now, one thing about Bryson City, Don Coker knew me a whole lot better than I knew him because he saw me on television. But Don Coker also spent some days, some weekends, some weeks in my cabin up in Bryson City. And Judy had been there before, and with another friend, and they stayed there. And then they said one week, Don's off, can he go up and stay in your cabin? I said, absolutely. He loved that area. So he's always been addicted to this place, but he's never been to downtown Murphy. So today's his first day for that. It's going to be fun.
Well, he's not been to downtown.
I don't think he has. I don't think he's spent any time down there. But he's been to Bryson City plenty. I heard he'd been to Cherokee a time or two. So we'll talk to him about some music. We're going to also talk about, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, it's a Merry Christmas time, and we're going to talk about things we can do for others. And Don is one of those give her back kind of guys. He's last night when we posted that he was going to be on the program, people said he's a really nice guy. He really is a really nice guy, and I think you'll like getting to know him.
And it's a small world. I found out that his and Judy's new daughter-in-law's mother, I used to work with her in mental health.
Yeah, it's funny, were they playing some music too somewhere else, and it was you singing, and then somebody else Don knew was related to her? Was it your Aunt Sue or somebody that worked?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it is a small world.
Their daughter-in-law, Jackie, also works with my cousin Shannon Malone.
Who's Sue's daughter, your aunt. So it's like, okay, this is a small world. Yeah. And it's funny because was it Catfish John they were playing?
I don't know.
I think she said it was. I think she had gotten on the computer when I first posted you singing Catfish John. Now, we're going to play some music today to to talk about Don and I.
I think there's a delay here. I'm hearing you talk right here, and then I'm hearing something out there, and it sounds like you're out there talking, and it's a second or two behind.
Is it? Are you trying to slow me down?
So, hearing you one time's plenty enough. I'm here to tell you right now it is.
Well, let me tell you something else.
I don't need a double take. One time's enough.
I told you I'd get it today. I knew I would. It is the Freddie Show, and welcome to Murphy, North Carolina, where rivers, mountains, and good friends meet. We're about to meet a good friend. His name is Don Coker. We're going to bring him on in just a minute. We're going to go to a commercial break. Then we're going to come back and we're going to share some music. We're going to share the music Dawn and I love and the music Freddie Brackett loves. We're also going to share some photos of when Freddie first came to television. He used to dress up really nice in suits, and he looked very nice. And he kind of just slid into this seat, and you said...
Here, she said, I used to.
Now listen, but you don't have on a suit today, but you look very nice. But do you
remember...
I've
got this nice shirt on.
And pajama bottoms.
Well, almost. I got blue jeans on, and this shirt's not tucked in because you can't see it, so it don't matter. But I thought I'd go ahead and tell you that I don't have it tucked in. I'm wearing blue jeans because I figured if I didn't, she would. So it's like that Subway shirt. I was not going to mention that I had it turned around backwards.
Oh, that was funny. That was a good one. And you got your money's worth, honey, because he wears that Subway shirt everywhere now. So it is amazing that we have made it 1 year. Today is a day of celebration, and we couldn't find anybody we wanted to celebrate with any more than our buddy Don Coker. We're going to go to a break. We're going to take our commercial, get that done, bring Don on, because we want to be right on time at 9:30 to take a break and to pray for the families and everybody affected by what happened last week in Connecticut. We'll be right back. Let me tell you about live TV. It's wild and it's crazy. And there's the camera. We're sitting here. Which camera? Don Coker, welcome.
Hey, thank you very much for
We're going to
having me on
let
the
you
show.
hang tight just a minute because I have one thing I need to take care of. I need to take care of business. We have one obit, and this is compliments of Townsend Rose Funeral Home. They have been our sponsor since day one. They are locally owned and operated, been in business since 1933. They are a family that you know, trust, and love. They're going to be handling the services for James Philip Rodby, age 64, of Murphy, North Carolina, who passed away December 18th in Hamilton County, Tennessee. A memorial service will be held at 11 a.m. today, which is Friday, December 21st. From Friendship Baptist Church, there will be a gathering of friends and family after the memorial in the Fellowship Hall. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made to the Friendship Baptist Church, and you can also send tributes to his family at www.mem.com. Please remember Townsend Rose Funeral Home, because we wouldn't be here without sponsors. We also would not be here without viewers. Now, the good thing about what we do is we did bring some viewers with us when we transferred from where we were to where we are. Don Coker's one of those people.
Certainly am.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Did you watch when we were on WATC in Atlanta?
Yes.
Heart of the Home. Okay.
I loved Heart of the Home.
So many people have done that. Now that's on here in
Right.
Murphy too. And I still get Christmas cards from people who watched in Atlanta. Well, we had a market there of 1 million people.
Very popular show.
Very popular show. And I loved WATC. You know what I didn't love about it? They're located in Norcross, Georgia. Do you remember the drive? That area?
Yeah.
Well, the area 85 in Norcross and all the traffic and the congestion. I love doing that program there. I was not crazy about that traffic.
But let me tell you, as the drive to Norcross is a lot closer than the drive to Murphy.
It's only 54 miles.
I told Judy, I said, how the heck does Sherry do this
Every day, 54
It's
miles.
a beautiful scenery, but
It
I
is.
have to find different roads.
Well, I go back home a different way sometimes. I go the Blairsville way because I like to see that, and it's a beautiful
Yeah,
area.
Beautiful area.
Now, have you actually been to downtown Murphy?
No, I'm
No.
looking forward to it
Okay.
today.
Okay, well, you will learn a lot about Murphy because people will talk to you. They will visit with you. If you go see our mayor, you're going to know tons before you leave here.
These people in this town should be proud of the mayor. I've never
He's
seen
awesome.
a politician that seems so honest and so sincere and so liking the people in the town.
You know, I love when I post something on Facebook about him. Some of his students will say he was my teacher and he was always a nice
I've
guy.
seen that,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Now, what do you think when the mayor comes on?
Well, I don't know. I don't.
Freddie.
I have a
And
school bus to
he should be
drive.
the number one doer, not me.
But I hope
School
you.
bus to drive.
You know what I
have kids
figured
pick
you were
up.
going to say is, well, that's the only time your mouth's ever shut because the mayor talks.
You need to remind him 8 o'clock reruns every
Yeah,
night.
well, I do take copies of the program to him, but anyway, it's funny because the mayor just takes charge, and I love that about him. I love that he comes
does.
on and he knows what he's got to talk about. He knows what's important to this community. Jobs are very important. Now, let's talk about a job you had for years and years and years that used to pay really, really well.
Yes.
And they had some major cutbacks because I'm a big non-fan of corporate America.
Me too.
I am seeing so many corporations that are keeping people basically depressed because they're not letting them have the 40 hours. They're not doing the benefits they used to do. So a lot of folks are coming to small towns like this and opening their own business because they said, I left corporate America and I decided I wanted to do something else.
I told you my story with the company I worked for.
Oh, y'all, let me
Sears,
tell y'all, yeah.
that
He used to make $18 an hour.
I used to make a whole lot more than that.
And then
But,
they put you on commission
yes,
doing nothing?
But
Are
I
you
was,
kidding?
I was at the casino. You were talking casino area.
Uh-huh.
My son and I, just a couple, 3 days vacation. I get a call that I have to be on a conference call at 5 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Well, at 5 o'clock, I'm sipping a nice little Bloody Mary on a conference call at Harris Hotel in a rocking chair, and they go, oh, we're doing away with your assistant manager's job. We're going to give you a package. Thank you. Goodbye. Don't come back.
Are you serious?
But I did go back, only as part-time afterwards. So,
And what happened to you after 17 years?
Yeah.
They walked in and said, we're sorry, but the job you love and the job you thought you were going to retire from is gone. And then offered you a package deal to come back as a
No.
temporary?
No, it wasn't considered a package deal. I just came back with a
Less pay and no
flat
benefits.
salary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that lasted another 8 months, and I was out again. So.
but see,
Isn't that wild?
they actually let me retire, so.
Well, that's good that you at least got to do that. So, but big corporations, I think, are why little towns are starting with the little businesses, the little mom and pop shops. they've worked in corporate America, and people are like me, you get tired of it. Now, did you read what I wrote about our friend that'd been in the emergency room all night?
Yes.
This is a kicker. He worked all day long in severe pain. He gets off. When he clocks off, he goes to the Fannin County Hospital. He stays in the emergency room all night. Then they do emergency surgery. Then he calls his boss, and they gave him the runaround and said, we think you're just trying to get the day off. Okay, I've just had an operation, and I'm laying here sliced and diced, and I'm trying to get the day off, you know.
That's totally ridiculous.
It
Totally.
really makes small towns look better to me, because if you work here for Bill Hughes and you walk in and say, Bill, you see these stitches right here, he's going to let you have the day off.
He's going to say, go home.
That's it. It's a very different world we live in.
It is a different world, and it's sad.
It is sad. Now, because of the mental health thing today, we are going to take a break at 9:30, and there's been a lot of talk about mental health issues. And you saw clients that are slipping through the cracks now because the job you used to do, the lady who's doing it has over 40 clients now to deal with. Is that right?
I guess
Regina?
I've been out of it.
Yeah. And it's crazy because what was your caseload when you had your clients to deal with?
I don't remember. I would say
Not
probably
40.
25.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. And that's about all you can handle. So they're talking mental health, and you need to get help for this and this, and possibly the tragedy last week wouldn't have helped if there had been mental health help available. But with all the cutbacks, here you go again. Somebody's going to slip through the cracks, and it's once again big corporations making decisions that change individuals'
like
lives.
the schools, the teachers, now they've got 35 students instead of 25.
Now, how many kids do you have at one time to deal with? 50?
I just did a load count. How many did I have? I don't remember. It was, something like that. Probably a total, so now, are you officially retired? Or
Yes,
you,
I am.
Okay.
It's official.
Sherry said on Facebook that she's going to retire before me. I said, I retired. Oh, I got to do something. I got to tell my granddaughters.
Okay.
You know how much I love my granddaughters, Maddie and Morgan. Good morning, and to my beautiful daughter Tracy.
Yeah. Good morning. There you go.
So you have twin boys and then a daughter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the boys are older than the daughter?
No, the daughter's older.
Okay.
One of my sons, as you know, just got married. You just talked about it. The other one's engaged to a girl that's going to college in California, and
California.
yeah,
She gonna come back here?
well, actually, she's coming to visit in January,
Wow.
and I guess
Shocker.
once she's going for her doctorate, and once she gets it, I think she's going to move to Georgia. We hope she
Wow.
don't take Jeff to California.
Yes. Wow.
But,
Wow.
and my daughter, she's basically a homemaker, and that wonderful family, good husband.
She lives in and around Holly Springs?
Actually, she lives over past the lake before you get into Cartersville.
Oh, okay.
Now let's talk about Cherokee County, Georgia, because we're in Cherokee County, North Carolina. You live in Cherokee County, Georgia. The comparisons to us, your area grew a lot, didn't
Yes.
it? Cherokee County really, it burst open at the seams. Murphy hasn't done that yet. And I think that's why I'm attracted to this area. It's still kind of laid back and easy going, a little bit like Ball Ground.
Sort of, but wait till the casino comes.
Well, we're hoping that's going to bring 800 jobs,
Yeah.
which will be amazing. Will it change this community, do you think?
Yes,
You
I
do?
think it will.
Wow.
And I'm glad it's here because we won't go to Cherokee anymore. Cherokee now is Vegas. Cherokee started out what Murphy's going to be, a small, people like me that's retired or that come up for the weekend. You'll see a lot of people staying in Murphy. Murphy itself, the town will prosper.
Wow.
And
I hope so. I hope
will.
it brings nothing but great
Believe
things.
me, it will.
Yeah.
Because you go to the casino, look at the cars, Cherokee County, DeKalb County, Fulton County. Biggest part of them are from Georgia.
So, and this will be an hour closer for them, is that right?
About an hour and a half.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah,
It'll make a difference.
That'll make a difference. Now, we have got to make sure that we're right on track at 9:30. So, I don't know exactly how we're going to do this because we are live, but we want to make sure we do that. We're going to share some music with you today. And this music is, it's Don Coker's era, which was my era, and it's a little bit of Freddie Brackett's music.
What is it?
Well, Coal Miner's Daughter is the one I chose for you. And
I mean the music that you were talking about.
We're talking about rock and roll.
the 60s and rock and roll.
So I was
A
not even here
kid.
then.
Hush now.
We don't need to say that.
It's like when I said I shared a recipe that I'd had 100 years, and I said, "Oh gosh, I've disclosed my age." But you and I liked the '60s music. It was rock and roll at its best. There were things that were banned on the radio that we're going to play a couple of today. One of them is Patches by Dickey Lee,
Yes.
and one of them is Billy and Sue. Now you're a Vietnam vet.
Yes.
Do you know what the song Billy and Sue was about?
Mhm.
It's a tough song, and it was taken
Yes.
off the radio. But when you listen to what is played on the radio every day, now you have kids. Do you have kids on the bus that have earphones in their heads?
Mm-hmm.
Can they listen to radios?
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to some of the words of the songs they're listening to?
No, I can't hear what they're
Because the
listening to.
rap and the terrible things. Imagine in our era, the music was banned because it talked of suicide.
See, it was innocence in our area.
Yes.
Our music,
We were
innocence.
completely innocent
We were.
of everything.
But as the '60s grew, that all of a sudden Woodstock, it became rock and roll. The British invasion, and especially hard rock came in.
Right.
That-
See, I never liked any of
Me
that. I
either.
think that's why I left rock and roll, which was our era, the '60s, and I went to country music, which is what you love.
But you were kind of directed toward country music, kind of on Kenneth because of
Yes.
Kenneth.
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved it. And I loved things.
Husband number 3, correct?
You could have gone all day long and not done that. I told y'all on Facebook last night I knew he was going to get me. I knew he was going to get me.
How many
Okay.
did she have, Fred?
They're all
Let's
dead
see.
though, Don.
She killed them.
There's a
Let's
reason
see.
I'm called the Black Widow. That is mean.
Yes,
4.
They're all dead, gone.
Bless their hearts. They're all gone.
I've outlived them all, thank you. Oh, God, I'm going to choke you out.
I'm being nice today. Remember that.
I knew I'd get it today. We want to share this music with y'all, but we are going to do a tribute at 9:30. It is very special. When I look back at my life, there was a great innocence in my life in the '60s. You know, my mama wouldn't let us do certain things. We had to be at home at 11 o'clock. I've never smoked pot. We didn't do any of that crazy stuff. Today, we live in a very different world. And as your children were growing up, did you ever think about sending them to school and them not making it home because they were massacred at school?
No.
Was that ever even in your
No.
mind?
But you know what? We were protective and we were strict parents that we didn't allow our children to do what the children do today.
Right.
I think that made the difference.
Now, as being in the school system in Cherokee County, Georgia, do you ever worry about a parent confronting you with a gun? Have you ever thought about that?
No, I'm not. But
Because there's violence in the world that I didn't know when I was growing up. You didn't know when
Well,
we were
you
growing
know,
up.
until you just said that, what would stop a person with a gun? You're the bus at a stop, and a person walk with a gun and kill you and the kids. I'd never thought about that.
Yeah, you think about that because this is a
Yeah.
very, very different world. And it scares me because when you think about, I had made a comment, when our kids rode the bus, if you get in trouble on the bus, you're going to get in double trouble at home. So you better be good on that bus.
Yes,
and then
certainly.
now I've heard of parents who would go to the bus stop and say, "You're not going to reprimand my little Johnny." That's crazy.
did your
It is
three
crazy.
did your 3 kids did they ride the bus?
Not very much. We took them most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Jeff and Jay did in Hickory Flat when they were in elementary for about a year.
Yeah.
But it was a different world.
It was a different world.
You know, the one thing that I think that I'm mostly focused on when it comes to stuff like that is when I would when I do my route and take my kids home, and because I'm out in the country. I mean, which a lot don't happen out in the country, but then it could happen anywhere at any time. And when I let my kids off, especially the smaller ones, I try to observe because I've got one that comes to mind that has a long driveway and she has to walk all the way home. And I just try to keep an eye of the surroundings to see if I drop this kid off and I start off, if there's a car going to pull in,
You
and
have to be more
possibly-
aware.
But see, you're concerned and caring. Most bus drivers aren't. I'm sorry to say that, but most aren't. They want to get their route over and get home. That's the way the world is today.
He is very cautious and very protective and very structured with what he does
think
with
so.
these kids. Yeah, and I think that's important. So today we're going to salute all teachers. We're going to salute all bus drivers. We're going to salute people who do care about our children. And we are going to take a moment of silence at exactly 9:30, and we would ask you to please say a prayer for the folks up in Connecticut. You know, they're still doing funerals today. This is absolutely amazing that America has to deal with this today. 1 week later, we are also facing Christmas in just a few days, and quite possibly Santa already had the gifts ready for the children who aren't here anymore. So today we are going to take a moment of silence, and I ask you to please just say a prayer for the families who are battling. I can't even imagine what it's like to wake up and your child not be with you as we approach the Christmas holidays. And remember, there is a very special reason for Christmas, and we'll talk about that when we come back.
This is a story about Billy and Sue. They were as in love as were any two, and yet Billy had to die. And when you hear the reason why, you'll hang your head and cry. Billy and Sue met the first day of school, and ever since lived by the golden rule, because when you do unto others what you wouldn't want done to you, you'd have to be a fool. This mutual agreement of love and trust made them travel the road to marriage or bust. And when Billy was old enough to take a wife, he was old enough to fight for his country and its way of life. Sue's letters came every day, strengthened his cause, they showed him the way to fight for his country and the girl he loved. That's a soldier's only pay. But then Billy heard no more from Sue. He was worried sick, but what could he do? The bullets were screaming as he hugged the ground, and back home Sue was running round. Billy was getting less and less strong. His hope, his faith was almost gone. And then like a miracle the letter appeared. Billy tore the letter open and he read, Dear John. A look came over Billy that would scare a ghost. A familiar look seen on soldiers coast to coast. And even though the air was filled with lead, Billy jumped up. They shot him dead. Billy was buried in a faraway grave. It read, for his country, his life he gave. But that epitaph was only in part. He didn't die from a bullet, but he died from a broken heart.
Down by the river that flows by the coal yards stand wooden houses with shutters torn down. There lives a girl everybody calls Patches. Patches, my darling, of old shanty town. To marry when June brought the summer. I couldn't wait to make Patches my bride. Now I don't see how it ever can happen. My folks say no, and my heart breaks inside. Patches, oh, what can I do? I swear there clamping the door. She doesn't know that I can't come to see her. Patches must think I don't love her no more. I hear a neighbor telling my father, he says a girl named Patches was found floating face down in that dirty old river that flows by the coal yards in old shanty town. Patches, oh, what can I do? I swear I'll always love you, but a girl from that place would just bring me disgrace. Now, Patches, I'm coming to thank y'all. Smoky Mountain memory of my home in Tennessee. Yesterday keeps calling me home. Mountains rising in my soul, higher than the dreams I've known. Misty-eyed they cling to me, my Smoky Mountain memory. An old gray man with a dog asleep at his feet plays a worn-out fiddle full of melodies. He smiles with his eyes, but the lines on his face told me as much as the tunes he played. I'm talking about my Smoky Mountain memories. Pretty girls from Tennessee. I was such a fool to leave her all alone. Think about her in my dreams. I wonder if she thinks of me. Always hold her close to me in my Smoky Mountain memories. So, Mr. Play your fiddle, please. Play some mountain melodies. I've been down a lonely road, so far from home. Nothing left to hold on to. I made some plans, but they fell through. Now there's nothing left for me but my Smoky Mountain memories. I'm talking about my Smoky Mountain memories, about my home in Tennessee. Yesterday keeps calling me home. Mountains rising in my soul, higher than the dreams I've known. Misty-eyed they cling to me like Smoky Mountain memories.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter and a captain on a hill in Butch you holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar. My daddy worked all night in the Bandelier coal mine, all day long in the field of hoeing corn. Mommy rocked the babies that night and read the Bible by the coal oil light. Everything would start all over come break of morn. Daddy loved to raise their kids on a miner's pay. Mommy scrubbed our clothes on a washboard every day. Wife seen her fingers bleed to complain there was no need. She'd smile at Mommy's understanding way. In the summertime we didn't have shoes to wear, but in the wintertime we'd all get a brand new pair. From a mail order catalog, money made from selling a hog. Daddy always managed to get the money somewhere. Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. I remember well the well I drew water. The work we done was hard, and now we sleep 'cause we worked hard. Never thought of ever leaving, put your heart. Well, a lot of things have changed since the way back then. And it's so good to be back home again. Not much left but the floors. Nothing lives here anymore except the memories of the coal miner's daughter.
Love that flash from the past. Now, Don, you were there for all those programs. You remember
Yes.
when he first came on the air.
Yes, I did.
And you said, I did force you to do this, but you fit right in and the viewers loved you. And it became truly the Freddie Show because the viewers would stop and say, can we get our picture made with Freddie?
Well,
yeah.
while they were, when Ralph was showing this, Don had said that when I first came on, I was a slow talker. If you're looking at me, you're looking at country. You know the,
And that's
you know
Freddie
the
D.
you know the lyrics in that song is I like my loving done country style, and this little girl would walk a country mile to find her a good old slow talking country
That's
boy.
right. And all I had to do is go to possum
All you
drop.
have to do is go possum drop, and here drops Freddie.
Now, it's funny because Don used to call in and tell you had a cow lick. And this morning on the
Actually, I
way,
got two of them. I got one right there and one back here.
and our friend David White that lost his battle with Lou Gehrig's disease last year used to tickle me about your hair. He'd say, does that curl always fall on his forehead? I said, yeah, it does. So you fit right in immediately, and our viewers did love you. And the viewers brought you to be as close to them as I was, and that's a compliment.
It is a compliment.
It's a big compliment.
Well, I figured that I'd just be just who I am and plain and country as I am, and I figured that a lot of viewers around could relate to that.
Well, that's what we are. We are country.
Yeah.
And you've had, 5 different co-hosts that... And Freddie is the most fun of any of them.
He is.
One of them was more professional. That was Bill, I think.
Right.
And I call it names and give things. But
Right.
Freddie is the friendliest. He's the one that, he's fun.
The viewers feel like they can hug him.
Yes.
You know,
I'm
and
not going
that's,
to hug you. But,
that's what, now, did you bring some questions to do a little trivia with me like Bill Senior used
I
to
did.
do? Because Bill used to get me. Now, did you ever, when you were sitting at home watching and I was doing the show and I didn't know the question, that you throw a shoe at a TV saying, idiot, don't you know the answer?
Well, I don't know if I did or not, but I was surprised at some of the answers that you got right, because I'd never heard tell of the question.
I think she did very well.
Okay, ask me a
Okay,
question.
first question.
Okay.
Of course, we're talking 60s today.
Okay.
And I got this. There's different versions, but I think this is the close. What do you think was the #1 selling song in the 60s? Sold more records than any other.
Wow. in the 60s. My Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones.
Well, it's not Rolling Stones, but it's the Beatles.
Okay.
I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Okay, now that's funny because I purchased that record for 97 cents at Grand Way in Orlando. And I can remember thinking, 97 cents is a lot of money for that little,
That little 45.
Yeah, 97 cents. But that is the first song that took me to like the Beatles. I liked the Beatles, but I was never a huge fan. I liked about 3 of their songs that I really liked.
You're same way here. I liked about 3 to 5 songs, and I was over.
Okay, now, ask me a trivia. I'm going to ask you a trivia question. What is my favorite song that is done by a lady group who the lead singer married Phil Spector?
Oh, was it Be My Baby?
Be My Baby by the Ronettes. You
I
can
like
put
that.
that song on today and I will cry like a baby. There are certain songs from the 60s that impact everybody. And every time I post it on Facebook, somebody says, I haven't thought of that song in years. I remember driving my car down the road. Okay, ask me another one.
Well, that's sort of like Locomotion.
Yes, Little Eva.
Yes.
Oh, I love that song.
Okay. We know J. Frank Wilson sang
Last Kiss. Yes.
Who wrote it and had the first... In fact, he had 2 records and both of them flopped.
Did Dickey Lee write it?
Nope. It was somebody by the name of Wayne Cochran.
Oh,
see, I'm being worse than Bill.
You are. You got some deep stuff.
Okay. Tell Laura I Love Her. Who sang it?
Ray Peterson.
Yes.
Awesome.
And do you know what number it reached on the charts that year?
Tell Laura I Love Her was one that didn't stay on the air much because the parents complained about it too. But I would say it probably reached the top 10.
It did, number 7. So
Yeah.
You get that one right.
I would say it reached the top 10 because they didn't give it the airtime it deserved. And it was a great song.
And what year was Woodstock? That's what I think corrupted America.
It corrupted America. See, that's when I grew up in the 60s, and I lived in Atlanta during that time, and I would see people with the long dresses and the beads smoking a joint, walking the streets of Atlanta, and that was not my 60s. That wasn't my 60s. That was when it blew all to heck in a handbasket.
Judy and my sister worked at an insurance company. I think it's near 14th Street. And at that time, that if I went to pick
at
them up,
Colony Plaza.
Yeah, at that area. And
rough.
Hippies,
Yes.
and smoking a joint
I
like
would
crazy.
say 68.
At close, 69.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say I like Woodstock myself. It's a little busy now, but
Damn.
otherwise I like Woodstock.
Highway 92.
You know, it's just down the road from Ball
It is.
Ground.
Well, I went to Woodstock Elementary School, so and if you Google Woodstock like I did for this, that it lists Woodstock, New York, and it lists Woodstock, Georgia.
Oh, how funny. How funny. Well, everything we do now has changed drastically, and I think the media, I think the liberal media has a lot to do with it. I mean, my mother picked up the phone and called the radio station and complained because of patches. She wouldn't let me listen to it. She wouldn't let me watch, now y'all are going to love this, she wouldn't let me watch Days of Our Lives because Susan and Julie were having an affair with the same guy. And my mama would not let me watch it. Did your mother kind of dictate what you watched on television?
I thought you were going to ask me, did my mom let you, did your mom let you watch?
That was good.
No. Watch soap operas was what I was going to say.
Okay.
Well, did she?
Did your mama watch soaps?
I don't remember. I
Mine
guess
did.
Because
I
see,
saw
my
a little
mama
bit
paid
of it.
attention to what I watched on television. She paid attention to the music we listened to. And John Pruitt, if you're watching, let me tell you something. It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Oh, yes.
That drove my mama crazy.
The news anchor?
The news anchor on Channel 2 would say, it's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children
See,
are?
I like that.
After the missing and murdered children in Atlanta, they made them pull that because so many parents were dealing with the controversy of that. And I said, I love the idea that parents wanted to be accountable. It's time to get your kids in the bed. Where are they? You know, do you know where your children are? And my mother, there's no fury like my mama on the other side of a doorknob when I have to, you know, say, Mama, I'm 5 minutes late. I'm so sorry. And she would jerk that doorknob. You know it's 11 o'clock. Parents really took care of us.
Well, I told my mother before she died some of the things that I did, like that.
My mama died not knowing some of the things I did.
I would put pillows like in the movies and cover up, and I'd sneak out. All sorts of. I was not a great little.
You were not living at the foot of the cross.
Well, I
And,
gotta.
but-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go
no, I
ahead.
was just going to say that she said that when I told her she was probably 75, she goes, Donald, you didn't do that to me, did you?
Yes, you did.
I'm ashamed, but I did.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was gonna ask you, was you a rebellious?
No, I wanted to please my mother in every possible way.
You did.
Oh, yeah. I went home
So
and
she-
cleaned house. I
So
did all
she
these
went
crazy
on
things.
and married 4 times.
Hush, now you got it in again. All right, we've got to go to our Christmas message to you. This is our Christmas card, and it's our opportunity to tell you Merry Christmas. So we're going to take a little break right here, and you're going to hear some music and see some photos. It shows all of us, and I hope you'll enjoy this.
Thou didst leave thy throne and thy kingly crown when thou camest to earth for me. But in Bethlehem's home was there found no room for thy holy nativity. Oh, come to my heart, Lord Jesus, there is room in my heart for thee. Heaven's arches rang as the angels sang, proclaiming thy royal decree. But of lowly birth didst thou come to earth, and in great humility. Oh, come to my heart, Lord Jesus, there is room in my heart for thee. Into my heart, into my heart, come into my heart, Lord Jesus, come in today, come in to stay, come into my heart, Lord Jesus. Yes, there's room in my heart for Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders, wonders of his love.
Merry Christmas to all of you from all of us. It is time to say something. We never say goodbye.
We never
Don,
say
thank you
bye.
very much for
Thank you
driving
very
up
much
from
for having me.
Cherokee County, Georgia. You have been a long time fan and a long time friend now. You actually knew me 3 years before I met you. Is that
Yeah,
about
at
right?
least.
Yeah.
You know, Judy used to ride in your widow wagon to,
Yes, to the singings.
the gospel singings, and I said, she's not a widow.
She was later. Thank you for being here today for the Freddie Show. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope you will tune in every single day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Remember, tonight at 8, come back and listen to a little of the music from the 60s that Dawn and I grew up on. You know, I say it was the best time ever in America. I say it was a wonderful, safe time for our families and our children. Today, please do say a special prayer for folks who are dealing with tragedy and trauma as we approach the holidays. Have a happy and a safe holiday. And remember, it is all about Christmas. Merry Christmas to each of you. Merry Christmas to your family sitting down in Ball Ground, Georgia. Family will be a very special part of next week, and I hope that you will spend some time with your family. If you don't have family living close by, go to a nursing home and visit some of the folks there, but do something to give back. It will give back to you 10,000 times. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas
to you.
to both of you and to everybody.
Yeah.
We will see you again on January the 7th when we return, when we are local TV4 joining Murphy Cable. We will see you then. Hope you'll be here. Have a great holiday, everybody.